Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into NB12. Coming up tonight in news, the minister responsible for elections backtracks on the cost of the gambling referendum. Find out what figure he's giving tonight. Another parent charged with assaulting an educator, a young woman charged with trafficking in persons, plus Cuba-Bahamas relations said to be stronger than ever. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Vonique Toot, and NB12 starts now. Tonight, Minister responsible for elections, Dr. Bernard Nottage, said tongues wagging last week when he told reporters that the admittedly botched gambling referendum held in January of this year cost taxpayers around $5 million. However, today he gave a much lower figure, adding that he inadvertently said $5 million. In a statement released this afternoon, Nottage said, "I wish to point out that I am now in possession of the exact figure, which has been provided for me by the Parliamentary Registration Department. The actual figure spent was $1,238,092.95. That figure is a far cry from the one Dr. Nottage initially gave reporters last week on the cost of the gambling referendum without even being asked." Following the Defense Force Award ceremony held at Government House last Thursday, reporters asked Nottage how much next year's constitutional referendum would cost taxpayers. He said he didn't know, then volunteered this bit of information.
I know that the referendum that was held in January cost us around about $5 million, I think is the figure.
This raised many eyebrows, considering that weeks before the failed gambling referendum was held on January 28th, Prime Minister Perry Christie gave reporters a figure nowhere near that amount.
I know it's going to be over $1 million, but I don't know what in fact the actual cost will be.
Many Bahamians, including Free National Movement Deputy Leader Loretta Butler Turner, were shocked by the latest figure and demanded that government officials explain how the cost of an opinion poll could possibly skyrocket from just over $1 million to somewhere around $5 million. However, Nottage now claims I inadvertently gave the figure of $5 million. He says he feels it was unfair for the media to run with that figure, which was splashed across newspapers the following day. He claims, "I told reporters who were from the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, Cable 12 TV, and the Nassau Guardian that I was uncertain about the actual amount." Nevertheless, the figure was published in the Nassau Guardian in its Friday edition. It's unclear how Nottage came up with $5 million in the first place. Additionally, he did not give a breakdown of the $1.2 million actually spent in his statement. However, he concluded, "I regret any misunderstanding that I may have created." However, we still don't know how much government paid to different consultants from the United Kingdom and South Africa ahead of the poll. One group was expected to submit a report that was never made public. The other was expected to advise the Christie administration on gaming legislation. And from the courts, that mother accused of assaulting a teacher at the Anatole Rogers High School last week faced formal charges in a magistrate's court this afternoon. Angela Smith, the mother of a 17-year-old nonverbal autistic son, was charged before Magistrate Gilomena Archer with assaulting Eric Swain, a teacher at Anatole Rogers, on October 1st. According to a statement from the Ministry of Education, the mother allegedly shoved the teacher against a chalkboard, causing the woman to suffer a shoulder injury. This was reportedly after the mother was told that her son was being transferred to Stapleton School, where officials believed he could be better served. The ministry said the school had assessed the special needs student and determined he could not benefit from the programs at Anatole Rogers. The mother pleaded not guilty to the assault charge. Though she was already on police bail, she was given a new bail amount at $3,000. Executive members of REACH, an organization formed to support autistic children and their families, were in court in support of that mother. Two men ages 19 and 26 have been remanded to Her Majesty's prisons, charged with conspiracy and possession of 411 pounds of marijuana on Bimini. The pair was charged before Magistrate Andrew Forbes this morning. However, a third man who was expected to be charged along with them was missing. It turns out that the man escaped police custody while the trio was detained on Bimini sometime between Saturday and Sunday. Christina McNeil has more in this report.
Police are on the hunt for two men who reportedly escaped police custody on the island of Bimini. Police say one of the men is wanted in connection with a major drug bust on that island, but both men are considered extremely dangerous. Police say 40-year-old Sean Livingston Solomon of Freeport, Grand Bahama, escaped lawful custody before he was set to be transported to New Providence with his co-accused on Sunday. However, police neglected to mention that Solomon escaped police custody. It was not until Solomon's co-accused, 26-year-old Andero Clark, and 19-year-old Kareem Shea appeared before Magistrate Andrew Forbes this morning that the court learned that Solomon was not present as he escaped police custody while the trio was still on Bimini. In court today, Clark and Shea pleaded not guilty to the charges of conspiracy to possess and the possession of dangerous drugs, namely marijuana. According to initial police reports, 411 pounds of marijuana were discovered along Bimini's northern shoreline around 8 a.m. Saturday. Reports are the marijuana was packed in numerous bags and ready for transport. The men were denied bail and remanded to Her Majesty's prison until their trial begins on March 24, 2014. Meanwhile, the hunt continues for Solomon. His last known addresses are Alistown, Bimini, number 7 Bass Lane in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and number 3 Market Street in Nassau. Again, police say he is considered armed and extremely dangerous. Our news team also understands that a second man escaped police custody during Solomon's getaway. That man is 22-year-old Javargo Saunders, also known as Vargo of Alistown, Bimini. Saunders was in police custody for an unrelated matter, but he too is considered armed and extremely dangerous. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Solomon or Saunders, police are asking you to contact them at 347-3144-911 or your nearest police station. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.
And a 23-year-old woman has been remanded to Her Majesty's prison after being charged with trafficking in persons and facilitating prostitution. Paige McCartney was in court today and filed that report.
The magistrate said because of the seriousness of this matter, she's making it a priority, having the trial start before the end of the year.
Jamaican national Apollonia McQueen Smith faced 3 charges before Acting Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt this afternoon. Police alleged that between May 1st and May 27th this year, she recruited or transported a woman from Jamaica into the Bahamas for the purpose of trafficking in persons. The defendant was also charged with withholding the woman's travel and immigration documents and transporting her into the country to exploit her for prostitution. Smith, the mother of 2, pleaded not guilty to all of the charges. Director of Public Prosecutions Vinette Graham-Allen represented the Crown in court today, appealing for bail to be denied since the woman, who was married to a Bahamian in May 2011 and has a spousal permit, is still a Jamaican national with no permanent address in the Bahamas and no employment, and is therefore a flight risk. The young mother wept aloud in court as she was denied bail and was remanded to prison. The order was also given to have the matter rushed to trial. Graham-Allen said given the grave importance and serious nature of the allegations, they should be given priority on the legislative calendar. She said trafficking in persons and for the purpose of prostitution is an offense that not only the Bahamas, but the entire world frowns upon. According to the latest United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes Global Report on Trafficking in Persons, women and girls together account for about 75% of the victims who are trafficked each year. The report also says trafficking for purposes of sexual exploitation accounted for 58% of trafficking cases globally. Earlier this year, the United States State Department upgraded the Bahamas' ranking in its human trafficking report from a Tier 2 watch list country to a Tier 2 country after it said the country made tangible progress in implementing a victim-centered approach to addressing human trafficking. Trial dates were fixed for November 28th and 29th, December 11th and 18th, and concluding on January 29th next year. The acting chief magistrate deemed the matter one of high priority and said she expects it to proceed expeditiously with no willy-nilly adjournments, especially because the court has made special accommodations for the trial. For NB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
In other court news, a 25-year-old commercial airline pilot has been charged with possession of $75,000 worth of cocaine with the intent to supply. Dominic Delancey of Grand Bahama, seen here in the blue shirt, appeared before Magistrate Andrew Forbes and pleaded not guilty to the charge. According to police, Delancey was arrested Saturday after 3 kilos of cocaine reportedly arrived at Grand Bahama International Airport from New Providence. Bail was denied and he has been remanded to Her Majesty's Prison until his matter continues on April 7, 2014.